stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. If you were here earlier, welcome back. So looks like Instagram was here. Oh, hi, Jerry. Jerry was going to watch me on Instagram, but I bet she's on Facebook now. So I don't know. It's kind of neat. It's been weird. I'm having a lot of people. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. Been having a lot of people coming out of the woodwork. Where were they when I was trying to get the work done? They were out talking crap. That's what they were doing. But now everybody's finding out I have a little bit of power. What's going to happen in our city? And there's no need. If you're not doing anything wrong, there's no need to fear it. I'm going to work for a company. My personal opinions aren't really allowed. This is a professional setting, and I'm going to have to do things the right way, right? But I want to talk about the responsibility statement today, and not necessarily covering it itself, but maybe the history, why we have the responsibility. What does it really mean? Let's just cover it real quick on a normal sense. The responsibility statement is when anyone anywhere reaches out for help, I want the hand of AA to be there, and for that I am responsible. Alessandra, welcome. Good to have you. I believe you've been. I think you've caught a couple of these before. I'm not sure, but what I do is I go live 1 to 2 times a day and just cover different topics about the recovery. But she left, so all right. I get that a lot. People will pop on real quick because they want to check it out. So that's why I can never really trust the numbers. All right. If you are here, please say hello, whether you're watching live or the rewatch. Kathy has already done so. And maybe I should just start calling this the double daily trudge because I keep going live twice. That's actually going to end when I go to work in September. I will still be doing these, but I won't be doing 2 of them a day. So, but okay. So the responsibility statement is when anyone, anywhere. So that means anyone, doesn't it? Isn't that what that means? Now, my guess, this is an educated guess, is that we wrote that because there's going to be other people that are involved that are not alcoholic, such as a wife or husband, maybe the family of the alcoholic, brothers, sisters, moms, dads. See, everybody's affected by alcoholism, okay, or is affected by this disease that is close to the alcoholic. Now, 20 years ago, it used to be 1 in every 10 families was affected by drugs and alcohol. That has changed. And this is, for me, it's what I'm seeing. But with the opioid epidemic, everyone is affected. Everybody knows somebody that has OD'd, somebody that is a drug addict or alcoholic, or maybe has a different kind of addiction, right? So doesn't that kind of open it up for everything? AA is supposed to be all inclusive. It says in the big book, we think our way of life would benefit anyone. So, but let's look at the history. I'll still be on camera, but I won't be able to see anything because I'll be reading. All right. It was written for the 1965 AA International Convention in Toronto. In the article titled How I Am Responsible Became a Part of AA from the GSO newsletter Box 459. The article identifies an AA trustee, Al S., as the author of the responsibility statement. In the souvenir book in the 1955 convention, Dr. Jack Norris writes, "We must remember that AA will continue strong only as long as each of us freely and happy gives it away to another person. Only as of each of us takes our fair share of responsibility for sponsorship of those who still suffer, for the growth and integrity of the group, for our intergroup activities, and for AA as a whole." All right, I will get back to that. But what is that telling us again? It said something very important. It was very, very important. Um, Takes our fair share of responsibility for sponsorship. Okay. So why are we going to meetings and having sponsees raise their hand for sponsorship? It doesn't work that way. No, 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 no. Get off your butt, go over, talk to the newcomer, and say, I would be happy to help you. You have to walk up and say, I'll be your sponsor, but at least go up and say, you know what? If you need a closed mouth friend, I'm here. But instead, we wait for the newcomers to come to us. That is not how it works. In fact, everything in the big book tells us the opposite. There are clear cut directions in there on how to find a sponsee. There are no directions in there on how to find a sponsor. There aren't. So, why have we changed that? I really don't know. I'm still looking for the answer on that. For me and my recovery, I will continue to approach other people where they are at. That's what I will do. It is taking responsibility that real freedom and the enduring satisfactions of life are found. AA has given us the power to choose to drink or not to drink, and in doing so, has given us the freedom to be responsible for ourselves. As we become responsible for ourselves, we are free to be responsible for our share in AA. And unless we happily accept the responsibility, we lose AA. Strange, isn't it? In the Grapevine article in 1965, the responsibility is discussed, and Bill W. expresses his views. I'm just going to check to see if there's more people. All right. Welcome, anybody that's here. Go ahead and say hi. I'm kind of reading right now. But say hi and welcome. And you guys, you're more than welcome to make any comments yourself. I'm going off my own personal experience. Maybe yours is different. Please feel free to share it. Two major thoughts stood out in the remarks of the many speakers, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, at AA's July Toronto convention. This first was admiration and gratitude for AA's startling success in sobering up hundreds of thousands of lost cause drunks. The other was concern that the success, which has come to AA over 30 years since its start in Akron, Ohio, 1935, would not lead us to any complacency about the size of the job still to be done. The theme of the convention was responsibility. I am responsible when anyone anywhere reaches out for help. I want the hand of AA always to be there. For that, I'm responsible. AA's co-founder, Bill, in his talk over 10,000 attending in the major sessions of the convention, stressed the need for cooperation with all who work with the problem of alcoholism. The more than 100 agencies in the United States and Canada alone now engaged in research, alcohol education, and rehabilitation. See, we didn't think this is what we thought it was. Huh? It is, isn't it a lot different than what we thought it was? For me, it is, because they're saying that the responsibility isn't just working with other AAs and the people in them, but the professionals that we touch in our lives. Doctors, lawyers. There are a lot of people that work in this field that are non-alcoholic. Okay. They do it because they have a serving heart. I'm going to work at Detox. My boss is non-alcoholic. Okay. And I asked him, I'm like, why do you work here? And I told him, I know this is a frustrating job for you because you're working with these alcoholics and you can't get them sober. And he's like, yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm like, why do you do? He's like, because I fell in love. I fell in love with recovery. What did he just say to me? He just said that I use the 12 steps. That's what he just said to me. Okay. And he's a great guy. Some people I cannot, and he's younger than me. Okay. But I'm excited to go to work for this guy. My cats are in the food pantry. Give me a second. Get out of there. Any more cats in there? No? Your food ain't in there anymore. I hid it somewhere else. Suckers. I'm smarter than my kitty cats. All right. Too often we have depreciated and even derided these projects of our friends just because we do not always see eye to eye with them, Bill said. We should very seriously ask ourselves how many alcoholics have gone on drinking simply because we have failed to cooperate in good spirit with these many agencies. No alcoholic should go mad or die merely because he did not come straight to A in the beginning. Here's the thing. All of that, and I love this stuff. Don't get me wrong. Gosh darn it. I pressed the wrong button. Okay. But things have changed. Okay. If you're going to go out and work with these different companies, make sure it is like the city of Aurora or the county. Okay. These are the places where things are actually happening. NADAC, crap. SAMHSA, crap. And I'm going to tell you why. It's our fault. It is our fault. I've been screaming this. It's our fault. We've gotten lazy. We've gotten lazy in AA. And I wonder why I don't have many followers. You guys, I talk the absolute truth here. I do not fuck around with this shit. All right. And people that do fuck around with this shit don't like to listen to me, which is fine. The first concern of AA members should be with the problem drinkers the movement is still unable to reach. Bill said he estimated there are 20 million alcoholics in the world today. 5 million. 5 million. But I lost my place because my wife texted me. 5 million in the U.S. alone. Some cannot be reached because they are not hurt enough. Others because they are hurt too much. Many sufferers have mental and emotional complications that seem to foreclose their chances. Yet it would be conservative to estimate that any particular time there are 4 million alcoholics who in the world who are unable, willing to get well, if only they knew how. When we remember that in 30 years of AA's existence, we have reached less than 10% of those who might be willing to approach us, we begin to get an idea of immensely how our task and the responsibilities with which we will always be confronted. All right. And of course, there is a couple of things. In 1977, we made a declaration that it was not to ever be changed. There are advisory actions from the General Service Conference regarding the Declaration of Responsibility. The Literature Committee follows the general feeling of the conference, reaffirmed both the spirit and the wording of the responsibility statement. Okay. So all these people that had very, very successful sobriety and very, very good, astute recovery, long-term healthy recovery. Okay. And they felt a responsibility. You have a responsibility. Hi, Jackie. You popped up while I wasn't looking. Good to see you. Okay. what are you the question all of this comes down to is, what are you doing today to make the world a better place? Okay. Are you intentionally reaching out to people to try and help them? Maybe you're just having a bad day and keeping your mouth shut is what you're capable of today. Then great, do it. Hey Ingrid, good to see you. It was good to see you at the noon meeting too. I am praying for your health for you and your kids. I'll teach you to come to Colorado though. Oh man. So I kind of want to cover a little bit because we have a couple more people here and I covered a lot. Why wine? Drink water. Fantastic. Yeah, I got you. Here my water. Here my water. So the responsibility statement, it says that when anyone anywhere reaches out for help, I want the hand of aid to be there. And what we did is we went and read the history. And this is what they were saying. Well, let me first give you what I thought it was. And I was a little incorrect, right? So the way I thought about was when anyone anywhere needs help, I help them. Whether that be helping take out the trash, whether that be giving a hug, whether that's going to an AA meeting, right? Going to detox meetings and reaching out to these people, right? Because those people in detox don't know that we exist as people, right? So we need to put our faces in front of them. But that isn't what they were saying. The rooms are very, very small, you guys. I know a lot of you think that AA is big, but I would actually say the membership is down over the last couple years compared to. That tells us that we are doing something wrong in AA. See, AA is the guiding light for all this shit. And we are responsible to carry on the correct message to the next person. But what they were saying is that what we need to do is be responsible and do things like work with the people at detox. Go to meetings at detox. Okay. I'm starting a ton of meetings at the detox. There's going to be a 3:00 AA meeting. Every Friday, we got people coming over. Okay. And we're going to get celebrate recovery and all. Why? Because it is needed. And as an AA member, I'm fine with celebrate recovery. I'm fine with smart recovery. They are fantastic. You are still going to do the work. You still got to do a 4-step. You still got to do the work, period. Okay. But the responsibility statement is about us getting out there. And I'm going to tell you this whole thing, if you can sponsor, be a temporary sponsor, raise your hand, is exactly the opposite of how it works. Why? Because there's not enough people. There's not. There's not enough people in AA with long-term healthy sobriety. Long-term sobriety is 10 plus years. Old timers, okay? I'm coming up on 7. I'm not an old timer yet. Double digits, okay? It may feel like it's been 10 years, but it hasn't. I was an old timer once before. There was one time I had spoke for my birthday and a person approached me and they said, you know what? If you had 10 years, I'd be asking you to be a circuit speaker. I'm like, that's cool. That felt really, really good. It did. But what it comes down to, and that comes back to resting on our laurels. We're all doing it. I was guilty of it. That's why I'm going back to work at detox. For the last 2 years, I bugged them and bugged them and bugged them and bugged them and bugged them. And finally they were like, Dion, you're right. You're right. And now we're going to go there and raise the success rate. I'm so excited about that. And I'm really excited about being a part of a team that is making a difference because they are. And a lot of them are non-alcoholic. Just imagine what would happen if we threw 2 or 3 people at the detox that were in recovery. I guarantee you it would change. And I want you guys to think about this stuff. Jackie says, and I agree with her because she says you're so right. 6 years clean, and I should be more present in as meeting and giving back. Yeah. See, that doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you didn't realize it. And that's why I come in here and I talk with people. I talk about the things we don't talk about in meetings. This is stuff we don't cover in meetings. So, I'm getting kind of tired of going to a Zoom meeting and being the only one showing up, or 3 or 4 people being at a Zoom meeting, man. It's not enough. It's not enough. So I do I do 8 tradition work. I create service work, and that's what I'm doing. And then I'm going to take people, right? And you got to do what you cannot do is just go tell people to do this. You have to tell them to do it while you're doing it. Or they're just going to be like, well, what the fuck are you doing? You're just telling us to do it. I do not ask anybody or bring up any suggestions if I'm not doing it. How else would I be able to share my experience around it? Okay. But I can tell you, if you know me very well, you know that the cards are stacked against me. But I sit here in front of you as a working member of society. And that's what I am. And it's phenomenal. I got called for jury duty. I thought that was fucking awesome. I hated going, but that wasn't it. It's that I was finally at a place in my life where I am trusted enough to make decisions like that. Isn't that fucking cool? That shit's cool, man. Software update ready. Okay. All right. I think that's enough on the responsibility statement. But let's get out there, man. Let's do some things, right? Now that you're aware of it, you're going to have to do something about it. Okay. Even if it's just, sometimes I'll see a friend having a hard time online and I will call them. How are you doing? Because isn't it true that if your phone is ringing, somebody wants something from you? Okay. I have one person that calls me all the time just to talk, Chris. So try that. All right. Earlier, what I didn't do is claim spiritual progress. We're going to go ahead and do that now before we wrap up. Are you ready? Good job. Yay, we did it. All right. I'll be back tomorrow for the Daily Trudge. I'm going to run out of topics one day. Been doing this a long time. I'm coming up on, I should go check it. I'm like 3.5 years now. Every day. I think I've missed altogether a week. All right. I love you guys. Peace out and have a day.